All right, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Once again, the full team here. Mike Catalana is here. Dan Fates is here. I'm Jenna Cottrell. We have special polos, that YouTube money, folks. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you. Hey, hat tip. All right, second day of camp. Mike, your biggest takeaway from this afternoon?
Stefan Diggs is fired up. I mean, this is training camp, day 2. He's a veteran, a star player, and he's out there not only fired up for the fans, fired up for his teammates, encouraging them. I mean, that's what you want to see out of a veteran, right? Diggs brings that to the practice field.
Not only that, I think it goes to what Sean McDermott said about raising the level of competition with fans around. I think that takes it up a notch. We always talk about how McDermott wants to have energy and practice like you play. Well, it's tough to simulate that when in a game you have fans cheering for you. So I think that raises Diggs' level of intensity, which is what we've heard for the last 2 years, is that his intensity is what surprised people the most, and he's showing it again here at camp.
I feel like he's very interactive and is very expressive, and I think that's what the Bills have needed, and I think he kind of offers that spark, because obviously we know who he is, we know what is expected of him, but I feel like that's something that I don't want to say is unique, but he doesn't need to be like that.
No, he doesn't, but it also influences teammates. We heard Dawson Knox talk about it, and he's like, it gets you fired up. He goes, I was so fired up watching him, I wanted to try to guard him. Now, I was picturing how Dawson Knox would guard Stefan Diggs. He'd have to tackle him before he ever got off the line of scrimmage, right?
I feel like deceptively slow would be Dawson Knox in coverage.
Deceptively slow, it's a compliment.
But the idea behind it is, he knows, and he said it's a lot of times like coaches. Like, he's not going to invest in you, meaning like, I'm going to push him unless he thinks you can do it. So in a weird way, when he's, whether critical or encouraging, he's paying attention to a guy like Dawson Knox and saying, we need more out of you in this way. Hey, look, that goes a long way. And practicing hard. What have we heard about that?
We coach each other up. We coach each other up.
So what you didn't see is off camera them busting my chops about
shooting one small stand-up.
That took 28
It was one
minutes.
giant leap for mankind to get through.
Is what it felt like when it was accomplished.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel fantastic now. All right, let's also talk though. Leslie Frazier, the Bills defensive coordinator, we've seen him, we know him for quite so many years now. Talking about Trey White though, and where he expects him to be and where he's at.
Well, he's saying he's preparing that Trey White might not be ready. That was the first time we'd ever heard, not that they've given us a schedule, but we all kind of assumed that Trey White would be ready for week 1. And he said, look, some of these guys like Kyer and Dane, they have to prepare, and Leslie has to prepare that they're going to be the starting 2 corners come week 1. Obviously, we have a ways to go. It looked like, again, we've seen more video of Trey. We've seen him off to the side ramping up his intensity. But it was telling that Leslie said, hey, we got to be prepared if he's not ready.
Yeah, that's an adult answer. What we talked about yesterday was the fact that Trey White is on the PUP list, and we don't know. Like right now, if they're playing a game, Trey White's not playing a game. Well, we still have a lot of time until the game, but he was asked about those backup guys and getting them ready and the young guys, and I think that's the way to approach it. But look, that doesn't mean, we're not saying he's not going to be back, but that's the way Leslie, first of all, those are the guys on the field, so you have to see them, be ready. But I think that's the exact way he should be answering that. That also says to Trey White, you get ready. When you're ready, we're ready for you. It's not like somebody's beating him out. He will be back.
Correct.
That could be week 1, it could be week 3, it could be week 7. Let's see what happens.
We talked about it on the Buffalo Plus podcast, which is exclusive to the Buffalo Plus podcast. If you want to check it out, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. A little plug there. But I feel like this plan is the best way to kind of maximize and get the most out of every player. Hey, Trey White, don't rush. You come back when you're ready, when you feel like you can play. And hey, to those other guys, you need to step up. You need to be prepared. They're already taking it seriously. But that added level of pressure of being like, no, I think I am going out is let's be real, it's different.
Well, that's what was one of the questions also posed to Leslie, was the fact of, hey, is it good thing that Trey's not out here so Dane and Kyer get all these reps? And Leslie's like, I'd rather have a healthy Trey than give this. And again, perfect answer from Leslie, like he always gives. But I think there is that sense of, hey, you got to make chicken soup out of chicken crap sometimes, and this is what they're making the best out of a bad situation.
It's chicken salad.
Chicken salad,
Out of
chicken.
Yeah. By the way,
I always say, I thought it was soup in.
No, chicken salad out of chicken.
Yeah. By the way, as Leslie was done, I was walking down back to the field with John Scott from Spectrum, and John thanked Leslie for being such a good answerer of questions, how he's
really
so
is.
respectful to everybody. And I said, yeah, we appreciate it. And I also said, you're really good when the questions aren't very good. And he laughed as a man who knows. So Leslie will never say a bad thing. You will never hear him say, well, that was a really dumb question, even though he does at times get asked dumb, never from the Buffalo Plus team.
No.
But he does get asked some questions.
Can we go off the question I asked Leslie Frazier today about Tremaine Edmonds?
Yeah, good question.
Obviously, he's one of the
Great question.
the hot topic, highly debated, talked about players in the Bills. And I asked, we have heard for the last 2 years that he needs to make big plays, make splash plays, the interceptions, the forced fumbles, the fumble recoveries, the sacks, the tackles for losses. And he hasn't been able to do it. And Leslie said his best football, he's still maturing, he's young. He's young. Tremaine Edmonds is still young. He says his best football is ahead of him. And I said, can you teach that? Can you teach somebody? It's like kind of joking around. Do you have the clutch gene? Like, okay, like when pressure is on, can you do it? Because I think you either make plays or you don't. It's hard to teach somebody to make a play. It just has to be part of their thing. But Leslie says it's just repetitions. He's going to get more chances. He's going to make the plays this year, which is a very encouraging thing.
Yeah.
I just don't know if I buy it.
Okay, look at Trey White. Healthy Trey White is an outstanding player. I don't think of him as a big play corner.
Correct.
He's not picking the ball off going back, but he's so good at what he does. And he does, as close as you can, take away half the field, that there's never been a question of Trey's value. I will say this, there is probably more value in what Tremaine Edmonds does in this defense than maybe we give him credit for, only because we're looking for those big plays.
I agree.
I would say this year, in year 5, with Von Miller in front of him and Ed Oliver ready to go and all kinds of help on that D-line and Matt Milano next to you, I need to see something. I need to see a strip sack. I need to see a pick 6. I need to see big interceptions.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that. That's the next step in his journey to become a great player.
He has all the tools.
He does.
He's had the experience.
Never read the question.
No, I'm not. I'm saying also around him though. Like that's where this is kind of the, what is it, put up or shut up time in terms of what you can get out of him and those big splash plays. I mean, I think of his career and I'm like, all right, he had the safety in Cleveland. Yeah, and then I know.
And then I have a lot of clips of him surprised that he didn't catch a football.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of those tipped passes that falls out of his hands.
And by the way, before anybody's critical, go ahead and think we're being overly critical. Here's the thing. The Bills have to make a decision if they're going to pay him after this year. That is where they will make up their mind. This is not a guy in his 30s. Is he too old? We joke about him being young, but he is young. So if they make that call at the end of the year that they aren't going to pay him, that's a decision on him as a football player and the money it will cost to bring him back. That's not media people saying this. That's not an age thing. I hope he stays fully healthy for the whole year. That's them making a decision. Is he a next level player that's worth that second contract? A big one.
Yeah, you pay them for what you think they're going to be able to do.
Yep.
I'm fascinated to see how this will all play out this season because when we talk and getting to talk with the players, it was always Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds, the two quarterbacks of the team, one on the offense, one on the defense. And I want to see if that role will maybe change. And I think maybe that would kind of be the tea leaves. Again, this is all speculation looking down the line, but the Bills will have a big decision to make.
Tremaine Edmonds is a good football player on a great defense. And there will be a team that is a bad team with a bad defense that will pay him expecting, hoping that he will be great. He has not been great in Buffalo, and he is going to get paid greatly by his next team. And I don't think the Bills will be that one. But we could be having this conversation after the Bills win the Super Bowl. We could be having this conversation whenever this gets finished.
Yeah.
Because I think this isn't like the Poyer deal. This isn't like a Dawson Knox contract. I think this one goes the distance until we're approaching free agency.
Yeah. I think that's fair. You mentioned Dawson Knox. He also talked to the media today. That's a guy that you saw take that step last year.
Yeah.
How do you think he can build off of that? Because there are a lot of talented players in this Bills offense, obviously. And Knox, you want to see that role continue to grow.
Yeah, I think when you look at him, you think of a guy who became a playmaker for them.
Yeah.
And he's a Josh Allen favorite. And this year is going to be a little different without...
Sorry. Josh Allen literally signed, autographed Dawson Knox's neck. Dan has it on Twitter.
You saw, so it said Josh Allen, right?
It did.
Yeah, it was a sloppy signature by the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Would you say?
Yeah, not his best.
He's probably sweaty.
Not
Yes.
his best.
But in terms of Knox, he's got to remain that guy. He did talk about having O.J. Howard next to him, who is a massive guy who can run physically. He's one of those guys like Tremaine Edmonds because he's big, he's tall, he's fast. Like, you expect greatness. O.J. Howard hasn't had greatness in the NFL, but boy, that potential is there.
Yeah.
Let's see how it plays out this year. I think Knox is a guy they really like. They like his growth. He took that. Well, I'll tell you what, if he takes a step like he did last year, you're talking about an all-pro player on that offense.
And not only that, we have said all these expectations for Gabe Davis to step up, that it's his time. As I've said, there's a lack of top-end playmaking ability after that I have felt. Isaiah Mckenzie has been getting force-fed the ball here early on in training camp. I think he's ready to take that role as the slot wide receiver, as well as Dawson Knox. I think they need him to be a 55, 75 pass-catching tight end to pick up the slack from, Diggs is going to get doubled. Davis will have learning curve. I think there's a lot of pressure and expectations that Knox will have to step up.
I agree. I think it makes sense, though, with where he's at in his career, that he would be able to continue that rise, in my opinion. I think you saw the success that he's had. He kind of slowly got into the league, but now I think he's also so comfortable with Josh Allen. I do expect a bigger role for him, but I think it's something that he can ascend to.
Yeah.
There was one other thing I wanted to ask you guys about. It's been a long day already.
Yeah, turkey burgers.
Turkey.
We're going in to try them.
Yeah.
They're having turkey burgers for us for lunch. We'll give you a report tomorrow. We'll let you know how they work.
Okay, wait. So your biggest on-the-field takeaway from actual practice, that's what I was going to ask.
To me, it was Isaiah Mckenzie, and I tweeted it out. I just think he's going to be a big part of this Bills offense. We talk about how they're kind of having to change their mentality. Josh Allen kind of said. He said that the offense is going to look pretty similar, but I think Isaiah's going to get a lot more chance. I think he brings that speed element. I think Gabe Davis brings you that big play, that physical guy. I think Isaiah, they need that speed. I think they're going to like it a lot from him.
Yeah, I think this is not being unfair to the backup quarterbacks, but every time I see what appears to be a not well-thrown ball, I look up and it's not 17.
Yeah.
Now, there's a little learning curve back and, but that's just, you look and you go, no, it wasn't 17 because he's usually putting it on the money.
The one thing that I saw that I think fans would like to know is Allen did throw a pick in some 11-on-11 work, and afterwards, Poyer was the one that picked it off, and afterwards, they broke practice, and I saw Allen go over and kind of came up to Poyer and was like,
what did I do?
What did I do? And that to me, I was like, I know fans would love to hear that.
That was the other thing I tweeted out today too was, it was just the quarterback and the wide receivers were doing their drills today, and there was a miscommunication between Khalil Shakir and I believe it was Case Keenum, and the throw was just hit the ground. Bad throw, bad route by Khalil on what they were trying to do, and Josh was the first one that went over. Josh didn't throw the ball to him, but he went over to tell him, like, this is what you got to do. And not only that, as he walked back with him to show him, like, this is the way you got to turn, this is where I'm going to put the ball, then Isaiah Mckenzie went over there and also talked to him too. So it was two guys, I think, that are both, one is a leader on the team, but one, I think Isaiah McKenzie's going to have an increased role.
An expanded role.
Yeah, but we know Isaiah. He could have been saying any kind of nonsense to him.
It looked like he was coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll give him credit for it.
Yeah, we'll give him that credit.
More from Isaiah to come in the future.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun here at Bills Camp today. Some interviews that we are very, very excited for you guys to check out. Be sure to, as always, like, comment, most importantly, subscribe to the Buffalo Plus channel. We have the sick polos. We want to get hats.
Yeah.
We want to get hats for you all as well. We'll keep you posted on all that stuff. We're having a lot of fun here so far at Fisher, though. For Dan and Mike, I am Jenna. We'll catch you next time on Buffalo Plus.